Tapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharmasvarupine avatara varishthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhormuhu Namastri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Sachisukhasvarupaya Swamine Tapahari. একটু আগে থেকে আরম্ভ করছি মাসমাসি জিজ্ঞেস করছেন মাসমাসি is asking how long should a man feel obliged to do his duty towards wife and children? Wife and children, সেরকম wife towards husband and children, but towards in-laws, towards others. In other words, in short, how long one should feel, bound by duty. আমরা সবাই এই জায়গায় তো আটকে যাই না, সবাই আমার কর্তব্য, আমার ডিউটি, আমি এটা করা উচিত, নালে লোকে কি বলবে। এটা একটা বিশাল জগতে, এটা বিশাল একটা চর্চার বিষয় না, এখানেই তো মানুষ বেশিরভাগে আটকে যায়। এই জিনিসটা কি এটা উনি জিজ্ঞেস করছেন, কেননা ও তো সংসারে খুব একেবারেই ঝরঝরের অবস্থা, তার অনবরত বাড়িতে অশান্তি, এই সেই ভাবছে মানে এইসব ছেড়ে বেরোতে পারবো কিনা। সেজন্য বলছে কতদিন মানে আমার এগুলো ডিউটি আর এই করতে হবে। as long as they feel peace for food and clothing, তাদের বরণ পোষণ তোমার দায়িত্ব, কিন্তু একজন, so of course it's your responsibility to provide for their food and clothing, but one need not take the responsibility for a son who is able to support himself. When the young fledgling learns to pick its own food, its mother pecks it if it comes to her for food. কেননা এটাই মানে মায়ের কাছে এরকম হয়েছিল, একটা একটা ছেলেকে মা দিয়ে দিলেন, গেরুয়া দিয়ে দিয়েছিলেন। তার স্ত্রী আর মা এসে খুব মানে মার সঙ্গে কানাকাটি করলো, তর্ক করলো, এরকম করলেন, তার পরিবার আছে আছে। মা বললেন কেন, তোমাদের জন্য তো ভরণ পোষণের তো ব্যবস্থা করেছে, আমি জানতাম, আমি মাকে বলেছি, আর তোমাদের কি আছে, এখন তার সংসার ভাল লাগছে না, ওর তো তোমাদের খাওয়ার পড়ার কোনো অভাব নেই, তাহলে ও ওই পথে যেতে চাইছে, তোমরা কেন বাধা দেবে। মা কিছুতেই ওদের মানে সাই দিলেন না, কিছুতেই মানলেন না, বললেন না ও মানে ও ঠিকই করেছে এরকম। Pritish Babu, what do you want to say? You want to say something? Yes.
Yes, I was just saying, Maharaj, we have a few over here who will not understand Bengali.
That's why
So,
I immediately
yeah,
said in English also, and I will continue. Because,
yeah,
3 days we have been doing Bengali class. Obviously, Golab, the
yeah.
Bengali is up to here, so it
Thank
pops
you,
out.
Maharaj. That,
Yeah,
that's okay with me. Just thought I'll
that doesn't
remind you.
matter.
Thank you.
I'll make it. So again, Master is asking, how long must one do one's duty? Because you see, we are completely bogged down by this weight of duty, because we don't understand it properly. Whenever any question of intense spiritual practice or sadhana or anything comes, you always give the excuse, we have duty, we have responsibility, we have to go, we have to oblige this person, we have to oblige. Because if we are like that, all our life would go only that way, obviously. Master says, the blossom drops off when the fruit appears. One does not have to do one's duty after the attainment of God, nor does one feel like doing it. So Thakur is talking about an extreme case. The person has realized God. Actually, what is his duty in this world? There is nothing. He goes beyond all duties. There he says, blossom drops off and the fruit appears. One need not make any effort. It happens spontaneously, without any effort. It's a very natural process, giving of duty. If a drunkard takes too much liquor, he cannot retain consciousness. If he takes only 2 or 3 glasses, he can go on with his work. As you advance nearer and nearer to God, you will reduce your activities little by little. Have no fear. So Thakur is also giving slowly a way out. It's very difficult. No one can say I've realized God. So that means all our life should be only be bogged down by the weight of duty. No. See, if one feels very seriously inclined towards God to do intense spiritual practice, etc., one should definitely make an effort and try to move away from all this. Otherwise, it will never happen. See, there is a saying, after the waves subside, you cannot have a bath in the sea. can't bathe in the sea after the waves subside. The waves will always be there. So, it all depends upon how much is our attraction for sadhana, how much is our attraction for our ishta, our ideal. All these things are very necessary. So, if you always find out, generally, if you say, because Master is asking very genuinely, because it is a very genuine concern. If he moves away from family, the rest they will actually die for want of food and clothing, because there is no other earning member in the house. Very small children. His wife was not doing any job and all that. Obviously, he was concerned. It is a very genuine question. But in most of our cases, what we call by way of duty is all self-imposed, because we ourselves like to be involved that way. We give it the color of duty. There's not duty at all. One should have that courage or to say, no, only this much. I have my own priorities. Otherwise, you'll only be simply, blown away by the wind, and you'll be going, satisfying this person, that person, all your life. You have nothing left of your own. So Thakur says, if a person drinks too much, he cannot retain consciousness. That is, if one is too much advanced in the path of God, obviously it will not be possible for him to keep track of what is happening in the world. Things will definitely go here and there. They will be completely in total disarray. So only when you are partly in the world, partly with that way only you can manage. But he himself says, as you advance nearer and nearer to God, he will reduce your duties little by little. Have no fear. So if one is very genuine, very sincere, and if one genuinely wants that kind of a spiritual life or a sadhana based life, it's definitely possible. God Himself will reduce those duties. It has been found time and again how God intervenes, how God saves people who are very seriously interested. Then He's assuring him personally, finish the few duties you have at hand, then you'll have peace. When the mistress of the house goes to bathe after finishing her cooking and other household duties, she won't come back, however you may shout after her. Somebody's for that purpose, someone is to manage the affairs of the house. She has finished her cooking and all that. She's going now to have bath. However much you shout, she will not come back. That means once you finish certain things, then you need not have any hesitation. You need not have any fear that what others will say, what the Samaj will say, what society will speak of. Nothing. You know that in your heart of hearts you have done. Then you are through. Sir, what is the meaning of realization of God? What do you mean by God vision? How does one attain it? Very, very excellent, very straightforward question. People talk of God realization, God realization. What does it mean? Does it mean any this thing? I think mother probably, if somebody says, does one grow a pair of hands if one realizes God? What happens? So, what exactly is that? So, it's asking, what is meant by God vision? How does one attain it? Sri Ramakrishna. According to Vaishnavas, the aspirants and the seers of God may be divided into different groups. Now, Thakur is explaining what exactly is meant by sadhana, what is realizing Him. There are pravartaka, the sadhaka, the siddha, and the siddha of the siddha. You have just set foot on the path may be called a pravartaka. Someone has just started his spiritual life. In fact, no, later on he comes with a beautiful example. An analogy is given in the Vedanta to explain this. The master of the house is asleep in a dark room. Someone is groping in the darkness to find him. So, the person who comes and is groping in the dark to find the master, he is the pravartaka. At least he has made a right resolve. He is searching in the right place. Suppose he goes and searches him in another room where it is fully lighted, but the master is not there, then that will be a meaningless search. So the pravartaka, that means a person who has just set foot on the spiritual path. This is important. He searches in the right place, in the right direction, in the right way. Otherwise, he'll never get it. There's a famous um, story of a Persian poet or somebody, he's a well-known poet, I don't remember his name. So he says someone was searching something under a street light. So he asked him, "What are you searching?" "Oh, I have dro- dropped or lost a needle. I am searching it." Then he asked, "What happened? What were you doing? Where did you drop it?" "No, no, I dropped it in that room." "Then why are you searching here? There is no light. There is light here." So, like that, if you search in the wrong place, you will never get it. So, a pravartaka is someone who's at least made the right resolve and is seeking in the right place. So, the room is dark. He yet to see light. He has not seen the master. Yes, but still there's something in him, which makes him understand this is the place to search. This is the thing to do. See, that is because, that is what is called Shraddha or Astika Buddhi. Belief means that something very spiritual, something like our Ishta or God or anything. For all this, there is no earthly proof. There is no proof using our indriyas, etc. Something deep within, something inborn, something unexplained that makes a person some kind of a certainty about spiritual life. Yes, this is true. This is true. This is what has to be done. So he is searching. He has got no clue whatsoever, but yet at least is a right resolve. He has made a beginning in the right place. So he touches the cows and says, "No, it is not he. Window is not he. Window, door is not he." Known in the Vedanta as the process of neti neti, not this, not this. He's doing sadhana, but he's negating everything because he wants to realize the highest Brahman or the highest truth, then or God or any highest idea of the highest truth. But then he keeps on through his power of discrimination or vichara, he keeps on negating and dismissing that which is not God as, oh, not this, not this, not this. And then at last his hand touches the master's body and he exclaims, "Here is it." In other words, he is now conscious of the existence of the master. He has found him, but he does not know him yet. So, Pravartaka, Sadhaka is a person who was searching. Niti, niti, not this, not this. He has somehow entered, but then, he's practicing very hard, negating that which is not God, that which is not the ultimate. This stage is called Sadhaka. And then, just somehow, by fortunately, somehow he touches the master and exclaims, "Here he is." Then that is a stage of Siddha where he has got some realization. So, even at that stage, in the earlier stage, through worship, japa, meditation, God's name, etc., 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 he has been searching. And then Siddha is a person who has known him from his inner experience that God exists. So far, it was only a deep faith, whatever he had heard, whatever he had learned, whatever he had been following, that was what was sustaining him. Now, he has personally, he has got that aparoksha and bhuti, where he is known beyond doubt that he is the master. He has touched him. This is called Siddha. Even that is not enough. It's just a fleeting glance, or just some people get sometime, some vision, something like that. It's just the beginning. That's not enough. Then, then the Siddha of Siddha is a person who has uh, the supremely perfect. It's quite a different thing when one talks to the master intimately, when one knows God very intimately through love and devotion. As Siddha has undoubtedly attained God, but the supremely perfect Siddha has known God very intimately. So that's why he is very supreme. Someone, a senior Swami explained it very beautifully. The difference between these two, what is just knowing God, that Siddha, and the Siddha of the Siddha. He says, supposing, you've got a address of some place, you are searching for it in darkness. It's a totally new place. You have not seen it before. For the first time, you are trying to find that place. You have got only the address, some indication. Near that, there is a big church or a temple or something like that. So, with all those indications, you are trying to find out. Then, it is pouring heavily. You are quite somewhere, you are somewhere nearby, like the sadhaka. You are searching. Then suddenly, then there is a flash of lightning. In that flash of lightning, you just see the place which you have been searching for. The other indications, the nearby places, everything tallies there. You have seen it for a second. And again, there is darkness. Again, there is no light. Nothing is seen. But now you're certain because you have already seen it. You know beyond doubt that the address you have searching for has been found out. You have had a glimpse of the Supreme. There has been some kind of a realization where there is beyond doubt you know about the certainty of God or your Ishtar, whatever it is. Then what is Siddha or Siddha? Because of that certainty, now you go. Even if it is raining, even if it is dark, because you know that it is this far only, you know the indications, you go there, reach the place, meet the person concerned, etc. That is Siddha of Siddha. See, he which intimately through love and devotion knows God and talks to him or whatever it is. So this is the difference. First is you get somehow a fleeting glance, some indication, beyond doubt. You know that this is a place because all the signs, etc., whatever is been told matches. Then suddenly, even if there is again total darkness, you know for certain such a place is there for certain. You have seen the address, you have seen the indications, you have seen the signs. Now, with certainty, you go and reach that place, although it is still very dark and there is no light. So, that is the case of Siddha of Siddha. Yes, somebody wanted to ask something. I think probably Uma wanted to ask. What is that? Somebody put up a hand. Okay. No, but then Thakur says, but in order to realize God, one must assume one of these attitudes, Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, or Madhura. Because the main difficulty in realizing God, etc., is God is just only a word for us. It's just an idea. We have really no idea what even if you talk about um, uh, Thakur, Arma, or Swamiji, whatever it is, we know them from their earthly existence. Such and such personalities lived. We know about the incidents. We know about their kindness, compassion, whatever it is. But then when you say that whether Thakur is God, whether Ma is God, how do we understand? What is their understanding of God? How do you understand about that? Here only it is said that. So, you need a relationship to understand very deeply. Not only that, to go nearer, to get closer. See, where do we get closer even in this world? There is some relationship. Maybe a relative, maybe a cousin, maybe a sister, maybe somebody else, maybe a close friend, maybe some colleague. There's some relation, there's some sampark. Hai na? Based on that only you can grow intimacy. You cannot simply somebody going the street, you don't become intimate. Intimacy comes out of relationship. You build it in some way or other, you take it forward. And that helps you really realize that. So that way with God also, he says one should have one of these attitudes, which are because he's basically talking about the Vaishnava Dharma. According to that, according to the Bhakti school, there are these five attitudes: Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. Shanta, the serene attitude. The rishis of old times had this attitude toward God. They did not desire any worldly enjoyment. It is like the single minded devotion of a wife to her husband. She knows her husband is the embodiment of beauty and love, their veritable mother. So, Shanta, this attitude is, they had this, they did not seek anything from this world. They knew that God is an embodiment of everything. Attaining God is their only goal of life. He compares it to the single minded devotion of a wife to her husband. Because in those olden days, the husband was considered verily the God himself. And with that idea, the relationship used to be built. And then, Dasya, the attitude of a servant towards his master. Hanuman had this attitude towards Rama. He felt the strength of a lion when he worked for Rama. Because no, he knew that Rama is my Lord. He is so powerful. He is everything. I am his servant. I am his dasya. So I am also powerful by his power, by Rama's power, Rama's strength. That's what they say, because he was so devoted to Rama. You could just cross over Lanka in one jump, whereas Rama himself, Ramchandra himself had to build a big setu to cross the ocean. Just by one huge jump, he cleared the ocean because he took the name of Rama. So his strength is, I am the servant of Rama. He takes care of me, he protects me. Whatever I need, whatever I do, everything is because of him. With that attitude, with that idea, he lives and practices. So this is the Hanuman is always quoted as the highest ideal of Dasya Bhava. He felt the strength of a lion when he worked for Rama. A wife feels this mood also. She serves her husband with all her heart and soul. A mother also has a little of this attitude as Yashoda had towards Krishna. So, actually, they say it is more of a um, uh, Vatsalya, but then it's, no attitude is completely, totally bereft of all other attitudes, nothing like a watertight compound. Just as we say, when all the yogas are interlinked, no yoga is completely, totally compartmentalized as standalone. In every yoga, there's a little of all other yogas. In the same way, here also, everything is embedded in some way or other, in a small way, because no, it cannot be just only one attitude. Also, along with this, a wife also feels that she is really the servant of her Lord, not in a menial sense, that really, serving the Lord Himself in that sense. Sakya, the attitude of friendship. Friends say to one another, "Come here and sit near me." Sridama and other friends sometimes fed Krishna with fruit, part of it is already eaten, and sometimes claimed on his shoulders. They were so free, kind of at oneness with God, that kind of an intimacy, not feeling that I am different, that he is superior. They are not completely, overwhelmed by the Aishwarya or the great qualities of the Lord. They feel that we are we are his friends, we are his Sakha. So with us, we can always take liberty. Arjuna, Sri Krishna was considered the Sakha of Arjuna. So he had so much liberties with him. Similarly, Sakha is, the attitude of sometimes being equal. Now, actually, you will feel that in this, slowly as you go, the attitude where, the position of God becomes even greater and greater and greater. When you compare Dasya to Sakya, Dasya was really subservient, lower than God, something like that. In Sakya Bhava, it is almost like equal. In Vatsalya, the mother has even assumes a superior attitude towards God. Vatsalya had a mother towards her child. So it's Yashoda's attitude towards Krishna. The wife too has a little of this. She feeds her husband with her very life blood, as it were. The mother feels happy only when the child is eaten to his heart's content. Yashoda would roam about with butter in her hand in order to feed Krishna. So, feeling that Krishna is my own. Without him, without me, who will look after Krishna? That's why they say there are two types of attitudes. They say Tadiyata and Madiyata. Tadiyata means I am God's. I am God's son, God's servant, God's this thing, God will protect me, completely depending on God. Tadiyata. So God is superior. He has to look after me. He has to do everything for me. Madiyata means I have to look after God. Without me, what he would do. So, that like Yashoda would feel that if I don't feed Gopala, if I don't feed Krishna, what would happen to him? That kind of a feeling for Sri Krishna. So this is called, Madhyata, where Yashoda, this Vatsalya Bhava, Yashoda feels that she is the mother of Sri Krishna. And with that attitude, she felt towards Sri Krishna. And Madhura, the attitude of a woman towards her Paramati. Radha had this attitude towards Krishna. The wife also feels it for her husband. This attitude includes all the other four. Madhur Bhava is considered the highest bhava according to Vaishnava. Only very advanced spiritual aspirants can feel that God is one's paramat. It's not only, it's not just for women alone. Even Thakur also practiced his Madhur Bhava as if God is a paramat. He assumed the attitude of Gopi and Radha, and Sri Krishna was his paramour or his lover that way. So, in that what happened? See, the gopis had this. They cared for nothing, neither for society nor for norms. These that they gave everything. They say when Sri Krishna used to play flute during this Rashlila time, they would throw away everything. That somebody was milking the cow, they abandoned it there. Somebody was giving milk to the child, they abandoned it like that. Someone is serving the husband, they left him like that. Completely a total attraction beyond description. Aparthiva, not earthly. It's not any kind of earthly attraction. It's something far beyond that. With that idea, that attitude towards God, that is Madhura Baba, or the actually are the highest attitude. Actually, you know, there is yet another Baba which is not exactly given here. Maybe there's a combination of some of this which Thakur had towards the mother. We are feeling that I am the child of Divine Mother. আমি চিরকালের মায়ের ভালক. I am the eternal child of the mother. That was Thakur's attitude. I don't know what exactly where exactly it fits. Maybe a little of some of these put together. Here, the Vatsalya is where the devotee feels that he or she is the mother and the God is her child, completely depending on him or her. But here the idea is Matribhav, whether God is my mother, where the aspirant is completely dependent on God for everything. Thakur would go to Divine Mother for everything, every doubt, every problem. He had only one place to go, that was Divine Mother. He would go and talk to her, and then that is how he would find solution, or that's how he would carry. Yes, Juma, tell me.
Swamiji, in this regard, regarding the bhava, so what will the bhav of a bhakta? Say, I am a bhakta of God. So what will that qualify?
And that's why, so these are all for bhaktas only. Some bhaktas feel that I am God's servant. Some feel that Shanta Bhava, I don't want nothing else other than God. I'm very quietly, I'm ready to worship Him. Then one feels that God is my friend. So, all the devotee, if he has to progress in spiritual life, has to assume one bhava or other to become intimate with God. Otherwise, God is there, I am there. What is the connection? I am offering flowers, maybe something like that. Why? What is the reason? Where does it culminate? Where does it end? How does it end in my realizing God or having this vision or anything like that? When we try to worship God, you know, then there is, God is there, I'm just offering something. That Shraddha is there maybe. But then no, if it has to really fructify, flower into something leading to my own realization or vision, here you ask, no, but does one get vision of God or see Him and all that? So if it has to really advance in the path of bhakti, one must have one or other attitude. Then only that intimacy would grow. I think, there are so many people are there in this world. People are there, we are also there. What is the relation? Somebody like a very close friend. Maybe somebody is my cousin, somebody is my brother, my sister, my cousin, sister, cousin, brother, uncle, aunt, something, some relationship. See, intimacy grows only through relationship, is it not? Otherwise, so many good people are there in this world. So many nice people are there. We are also there. What is our connection with them? Once you establish a connection, then that intimacy grows, and through intimacy, some benefit or something, whatever happens, any exchange that happens would become meaningful, powerful, clear only when there is relationship. And intimacy grows only through relationship. The same way, if God is there, Thakur is there, there's a picture, some flower, then no, that is only, there is a complete kind of a disconnect. Thakur is there. I just as my duty every day, I do some little flowers or something, maybe I do a little japa or something. So when you say Thakur is my Ishta, that's why Thakur says, two kind of people, devotees come to me. One, they come and they simply want mukti, they pray. They are okay. But those who are intimate, my antaranka, are those who want to know these three things. Who am I? who they are, and what is our relationship. Exactly, this is what he is discussing here. First of all, then only our sadhana, our search for truth, our search for other things, enlightenment, our realization, all that would become meaningful only when these three things are really addressed, is it not? Who is the person whom we are trying to worship? What is he? And who am I? And what is my relationship in that context? See, if that is done, then not only man, bhakti, mukti, everything is it's a package. Everything is got there in that. Otherwise, we are suffering in samsara, so many problems, so many difficulties, so many other things are there. So to overcome that, we are trying to do that. It's only that much. It doesn't go beyond that. So once you establish some kind of a relationship, then that becomes, then only it generates that kind of attraction, that power, then it is intensified. Supposing there is someone, maybe your grandchild or somebody, you love that child so much, again and again your mind goes there. Why? Because it is my grandchild. The relationship is there. So that relationship leads to intimacy. That intimacy leads to your constantly thinking about that child. In the same way, if you develop a relationship with God, then slowly that will grow into intimacy, and that would make you think more and more about God. Then only your japa, meditation, puja, etc., would assume some meaning. Otherwise, it will have nothing that way. So that is why Thakur says, একটা সম্পর্ক গড়ে তুলতে হবে. One should develop a relationship with God. That is very important. See, that is why, many of the things which Guru Maharaj says here, we don't really, work for it. For example, Thakur somewhere already we have gone through that once. I think, of course, you may not remember, where Guru Maharaj says, you live like a servant maid in a rich man's house. He says, the Dasi says, my Rama, my Krishna, etc. But her mind is completely on the children in her own native place, in the village where they are. And although she serves the children with great love and affection, in her heart of hearts, she knows they are her real children and real people. So he says, in the same way, do all your duties in the world, but you keep your mind on God. So, it's a very, very simple, straightforward example. Why we are not able to put this into practice? Why is it not working for us? It's not working for us because, first of all, the lady who is working in the rich man's house, she knows however faithfully I may serve, however I may love these children, Rama, Hari, etc., she really loves them. The love is very genuine. It's not fake or hypocritical or anything like that. She really loves those children. But then she knows that if she does anything wrong, immediately she will show the door. She cannot say, I love my Rama and Hari so much. How can I go leaving them behind? Now go, immediately go. The word was immediately she will be thrown. No, don't worry. Somebody else will come and look after it. Nobody would even bother about all that. Then why is it that? Why? It is because that's why she knows the world in which she is living is very, very impermanent. It doesn't matter at all. She's not bothered about that. So, that way she knows that it looks attractive. I'm doing all these things, but I know that this can crash, can come crashing down, this can crumble any moment. So there's a deep understanding of the anityatva or impermanence of the place where she is living or the relationship she is talking about. The relationship as my Rama, my Hari, my Krishna, etc. She knows these can simply get shattered any moment. So although she puts her heart and soul into it, she knows that the relationship anitya or impermanent. Whereas in our case, we feel that all our relationship, our surroundings, our property, our house, our this, that, dog, everything, they're all permanent, we think. That is why we are suffering. So there is this idea of anityatva of the world has not entered our mind at all. So there is a big difference between the dasi which Ramakrishna talks about and we who live in this world. This is the first major thing. And now we know the second, that's where Thakur talks of the relationship. Regarding the children back home in the village, no one need tell her that they are your own. Does anyone have to tell the Dasi, the children who are in the village, or they are your very dear and near, they are really your own? Does anyone have to tell her? She knows beyond doubt. But in our case, how do we completely place our reliance on God when we don't know anything about Him? We have no idea. God is only a word or some expression or something we have heard, something vague, something which is uncertain. So obviously, that example we are not able to incorporate or put into practice in our life because we are not able to relate to them. So the first thing is anityatva. If the world is unreal, if that strongly that comes into our mind, then we will be functioning. Just as the Darcy, she knows that this can crumble or this can crash, but does she bother about that? She puts her best foot forward. She takes care of the children. She does everything for them. But at the same time, in our heart of heart, she knows that all this can go anytime. These are all anitya or impermanent. So that's why Daku's example is very beautiful. If only we understand. See, we are doing everything. We are going here, there, uh, every place, our travel, our buying, our selling, our marriage and ceremony and birth and death and children, grandchildren, spouse, whatever it is. Everything, what all we do here, we do with sincerity. But in our heart of hearts, we know that all these are all temporary, anitya, not of a permanent nature. And these are all certainly they are going to vanish, they are going to crash, they are going to be, somehow or other they will not survive. So if that idea is very strong, then you find that you are really understanding the world, and that is what would take you forward in spiritual. Simultaneously, along with that, some certainty about the God we are worshipping. Says we are Ishta Devata, we are initiated, or whatever it is, whichever God we worship. Unless that certainty is there, some relationship is there, it is very fragile. It will see as long as things are okay, we do. But then something goes wrong. Why is it like that? I'm Thakur's devotee. I'm always doing like that. Why I'm not getting this? Why it is so? All those things keep coming again and again. Because we don't understand. But if these relationships are built, you know that God is taking us in and through all this. We have to go through all that. Then only we will clearly understand this is the nature of the world. Unless we get blows, how will the world become unreal to us? Tell me. If everything is going on nicely, very beautifully, all the thing buying, selling, clothes, this, that, our share market, our property, our finances, our marriages, ceremonies, everything is wonderful. Who would want God? Where is the need? Where is the place for God in our life? Tell me. Only when things go wrong. Huh? Kabir says, no, dukh mein sabhi sumir na kare, sukh mein koi kare na koi. So, when everything is going fine, you don't need God. Only when things go wrong. That is why, when you develop these kind of relationship, because, in the world, definitely we are going to get blows. Nobody is going to escape. The world itself means blows. Without that, sansar means that. So when you have this kind of a support, then you start leaning on them. When you know that, yes, this is my problem, let me go to my Sakar, let me go to my Lord. I am his Dasya, I am his Dasa, servant, whatever attitude it is. So, unless, supposing even in the world also we have a problem, do we go to someone in the streets and tell, oh, this is my problem, please solve it? To whom do we go? With whom we have a relationship? Maybe your spouse, maybe your children, maybe your cousins or close friends, somebody where there's a relationship. Otherwise, we don't go. So here also, when you have a relationship with God, that's why when you feel like approaching God whenever there's a problem, whenever there's a difficulty, I'm not able to start solve it. First of all, we try with our own little buddhi and intellect or whatever it is. When it's beyond us, then we start seeking solutions elsewhere. So that way, that time when you have this kind of a relationship, then that becomes, very different. And that's the time when we can really approach God or seek solutions from Him. So now we stop here because I have other programs and you also have to see off or receive or somebody. You have some duty. Somebody's coming. I was told. What is that? Who is coming?
Swami Gyana Lokananda Maharaj.
Oh, Baba.
উনি আসছেন। হ্যাঁ,
Swamiji's house. Huh?
হ্যাঁ, Swamiji house. He's in charge of the
He's
Swamiji
going to
house.
give talks, is it?
He's going to give a talk today, yes, in the ashram. Yeah,
Achha. Very good.
and
So you
we'll
all
have to
go and
receive.
listen to his talk. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, of course, you can ask before we
Mhm.
wind up.
Thank you, Maharaj. Any questions? Anyone?
Everybody is in a hurry to go to the airport. No one has questions.
No. So,
Those who are not going to the airport can ask questions.
We have time.
we have time, Maharaj. It's okay. So, Maharaj, extending that only, the relationship factor, that I understood that, yes, the intimacy and everything. But can't we grow intimacy being a devotee? Like, if you see that, Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, you are everything,
Yes,
you're all to me. If that feeling,
yes.
how do
See,
we
there
grow?
also he's saying, na, you are my Mata Pita.
हाँ,
Ah,
सखा
you
भी
are
बोलते
Bandhu,
हैं.
Sakha.
Yeah,
Something. No,
everything.
he's having everything, not only one, he's having all relationships.
Yeah,
See,
so
he's not
that,
without the relationship. No, you have something. You
right,
can have
right.
more.
Yeah,
You can say, I'm your Dasa, I'm also your Sakha. That's also possible. But
okay.
you see, if there is no relationship at all, then there is no
Yeah,
connect. God
right,
remains
right.
there,
That,
I remain separately. So devotee itself means I'm devoted to God because of this. Automatically that relationship comes in. That is the idea.
right, right. Yes, that intimacy has to be grown, and that a
Yes.
relationship, of course, helps to grow that intimacy faster. So, yeah. With Ma,
Okay.
it is very,
Huh?
okay,
Huh?
Pranam Mahar. No, that's all right. It's okay.
You're saying something.
So,
What is that?
no. I said with Ma, it is a very natural way of looking
Yeah.
at Ma. But with
Yeah.
Thakur,
Mother we look upon as mother. So in the same way,
yeah.
Thakur also, he can be your father, can be your grandfather, you can be anything. So really like. Huh?
Yeah, yes, Maharaj. Yes.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Pranam Maharaj. Pranam Maharaj, thank you.
Yes, we are doing it from
Thank you.
Rishikesh, Tapovan. We're
Okay, yeah,
studying in Sharda Tapovan.
our
Huh?
retreat is due. Once Tat Padam should organize one retreat, over there.
Yeah, do.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
you're
we'll do
welcome.
that. We'll do
তোমরা
Huh?
that.
এসো,
Thank you so much.
তোমরা
Yeah.
সবাই এসো আমাদের এখানে শারদা ভবনে।
হ্যাঁ,
Thank you.
যাওয়ার তো ইচ্ছা আছে। দেখি ঠাকুর কি বলেন, ঠাকুর কিরকম করেন। ইচ্ছা তো আছে,
Come on,
খুব ইচ্ছা আছে।
come on.
Yes,
হ্যাঁ?
we would love to come, Maharaj. I would love to come. It would be so nice.
You are so near in Bombay, you never come. Huh?
Yeah, from Pune, I can definitely come. I'm in
Come.
Pune.
Come straight. Okay?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes,
Bye.
yes, Maharaj. Thank you. So it's a pleasure to see you.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Pranam Maharaj. Thank you
প্রণাম।
all for joining.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for your
Juma.
time.
Thank you, Prithvi.
No, no.
Yeah, thank you so much.